UndergroundVideoNetwork.com presents the We Talk Too Much podcast.
This is where the fun begins.
Comic books, superheroes, sci-fi, gaming, and everything nerdy.
That's it. This is just too weird.
Now, here's your host of the We Talk Too Much podcast, Mike and Richard.
Hey everyone, and welcome to this episode of Underground Video Network, We Talk Too Much. I am Michael Boroff, and this is
Richard Cutter John.
Rich. Good to talk to you again.
Hey.
Look at us, man. We got 2 episodes in within the first 2 months. We are far above the average of what we hammered out last year.
Last year was just last year.
Yeah. But no, what's been going on with you, bud?
Just wrapping up basketball season. The high school part's about done. I think there's only about 2 weeks left, and then the playoffs, and then I think we'll be done quick. So, it should be fun. I got some really cool photos there again this week. Remember how I had that one I showed you like last week of the guy going up for the ball? Well,
this is coming from me, Richard. That was a dope ass photo.
Well, I got 2 guys like midair falling.
Oh, I can't wait to see that.
Just imagine them going went up for the basket and just like both of them's in midair with no legs on ground or anything. It was a crazy shot. Other than that, it's been getting things wrapped up.
Speaking of wrapped up, it's been a busy week for me. I've had some unexpected vacation time. Everything is fine. Work, it was a long story. Basically, it didn't affect my department, but it affected my shift. So the reason why I have the vacation time was because of those people over there, but because I'm on second shift. So everything was cool, but I was proud of myself, Richard. I got so much. I'm going to live up to the name today, Richard. I got so much to tell you. I got so much done this week. Richard, as you know, Sunday, me and my cosplay group, the Heroes for Hope, our local group here in Lima, Ohio, we were invited to attend the Lima Symphony Orchestra's Superheroes and Villains show. They reached out to Mark Bowker of Alter Ego. He got a hold of us, and me and some of my friends got to don our costumes. And we originally, Richard, thought we were just going to be out in the crowd, like before and after the show, taking pictures with the kids. No, they were like, no, we got some stuff we would like you to do on stage. And I don't know if there's any cosplayers out there. It's one thing to be in a group of people where everybody's doing their own thing, but when you've got hundreds of eyes on you, yeah. But we had such a fantastic time. I went as Doctor Strange. Now, I got lucky because they did do some Marvel songs, but nothing specific for Doctor Strange. Now, my friend Angie, Ginger Snaps Cosplay, she came as Wonder Woman. They did her theme song from the newer movie. So during that part of the song, they had her come out on stage and pose to the kids. Our friends Jared and our friend Tony, they did Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker.
Oh, wow.
And they did this little spiel where they did the Star Wars theme, and they had Anakin come out and wave to the crowd, and then Jared came in from the opposite stage, and they did the whole, if you're not with me, you're against me, and like he chased after him. It was cool. 2 cool things is so I went as Doctor Strange, and our friend Adam Pettigan, he went as Star-Lord. During the Marvel songs, they just asked us to just walk out on stage, wave to everybody. We didn't have any dialogue or anything, so we got to go back. Adam got two of the end all beat all greatest photos ever, because at the end of the show, when all of us walked through and waved to the kids, they had us go out one at a time. I would have preferred all of us together, but as Adam walked by, he stopped in front of the conductor, waved to everybody, and then in true Star-Lord fashion, pulls out his cell phone and gets a selfie of him with the orchestra and the conductor waving at him. I am going to high resolution print. They were phenomenal. It was great. And then I think I've told you, the Heroes for Hope, enough of us have put together Ghostbuster costumes that we're also doing kind of like a branch of Heroes for Hope Ghostbusters. It's going to be me, Kendra, Adam, Jared, Angie. Yeah. I mentioned to Mark when we were talking about the Lima Symphony Orchestra thing, I was like, hey, you've done stuff with the local theater before. Can you put me in touch with like Amanda or something? I had the idea, and I'm happy. Was all me. I had the idea of like, well, maybe opening weekend, like, Friday evening, just have us all in as a group in the lobby or, depending on the weather, but in our Ghostbuster outfits, in the lobby, taking pictures with people. And Mark was like, yeah, I've got his email address. I'll give him a call. And I kind of put it out of my mind. But just a couple days ago, Richard, as of us talking right now, he texts and he goes, Ghostbusters are a go. I talked to him.
Oh, wow.
He's excited for it. He goes, he hasn't gotten back with me the exact day or time, but I would, we're all of us are assuming, why do it on a Thursday? It's going to end up being a Friday or Saturday, and we're hoping it's going to be an evening show. So yeah, the weekend that Ghostbusters Frozen Empire comes out, if you're in Lima, Ohio, and you get a chance to go to the Regal Cinemas, we'll keep everybody updated. You're going to get a chance to get your picture taken with the Ghostbusters. Side note to that, another project, I'm telling you, I was killing this week. Another project I've been working on is, Richard, you've seen, now you can kind of tell, I was definitely Doctor Strange this last week, and for the people who can't see, I have a goatee. I'm letting my beard grow out. I'm not a big fan of goatee, but I'm letting the beard grow out. Now, before I shaved it, Richard, you've seen photos of people at Comic-Cons that did the Force Ghost.
Right.
They've got the material. They look phenomenal. I saw online a picture of somebody that did something very similar for Egon Spengler to do a ghost Egon. And I'm looking at this picture and I'm like, I want to do this. So I put together, boy, the people just listening are missing out on this awesomeness. I found the perfect gray wig. I Googled, I got a pair of Egon's round rimmed glasses. And because I have so many awesome cosplay friends, I found the material.
Oh, wow.
Dude, that looks really good in this light.
Yeah, it does. He just put the mesh around him, people who can't see.
Yes, I it's this material called, and this is like, because I tell a lot of bad jokes, but I have never been more proud of this coming joke than I have in my entire life. The material is called tulle, Tulle. It's a very transparent, very shiny material. A lot of it's used in like prom dresses, the stuff you see under, the dresses, stuff like that. Tulle. So I went to my local fabric store. Dude, I'm sorry for the people that are just listening. I am into the man. Yeah. So here. So my friends gave me the name of the material. I went to the local fabric store, and I mean, first, oh, I kind of like the glasses. Um, First out of the gate, I found it, and it was ridiculously cheap, Richard.
Oh yeah.
It was like $6 for like 9 feet,
That's
which is
good.
like so many yards.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I'm telling you, Richard, the first time I put on, I've also updated my Ghostbuster suit. So my old tan suit, um, I'm making that my Egon. So I have Spangler. Richard, I'm not even clear because I had a fuller beard, which when it gets real full, you see quite a bit of the gray in it. I put everything on, Richard. I put the tool over me, and I stepped in front of the mirror, Richard, and I'm not ashamed. I was beside myself. But here's the joke, Richard. Again, the material is called tulle, Tulle. So when I found the material, the first thing I did was I texted our friend Angie, Ginger Snap Cosplay, and I told her there is no Dana, only tulle. I'm sitting in the parking lot of the fabric store, devastated that there was actually nobody around for what is my end all beat all favorite joke of all time. So I'm putting together the Egon Spengler costume, and the other thing too is I don't know, Richard, if you've seen it. Maybe I'll share pictures when I'm done. I'm working on I don't want to say converting because everything I'm doing is temporary. Making my police car real.
Yeah, I saw those pictures.
Dude, I just got the rack today. Now the problem is I can't really do anything with the rack because my car doesn't come with the crossbars, which is silly because I'm like, how the hell did the cops put their, but I was able to find, aftermarket rails because again, there are few times where the internet really saves you. I'm a part of so many Ghostbuster fan pages that people were just like, here, this is what we use. This is what I use. They're temporary. You put the rails on, which go across the car, then you put the rack on top of it, and you bolt it down. I'm like, chef's kiss. Ordered everything at the same time, but of course the rack came before the rails. So I gingerly put the rack on top just to make myself giddy. I've got the rack that I'm going to build off of. I have a strobing green light. And I decided to go with green because one, I know some of the laws in different states are iffy on the reds and the blues. So I'm not even going to bother with it. Green fits my motif. I got the green light that will go on top of the car, which is beautiful. It will light up my entire neighborhood. I got 2 magnetic Ghostbuster logo signs that I can put on the side of the car. I got a small, it's probably about 16 to 18 inches long, scrolling LED light that I can program to say whatever I want.
Right.
So I can put Heroes for Hope or who are you going to call Ghostbusters. And I found a website. I'm getting nothing from this, but I am going to give them a shout out. They're called Big Bubba Sirens. They sell different programmed sirens, but they also sell sirens that you can. Bless you. I saw that one coming.
Sorry.
Where you can download your own sound effect to it. So I downloaded the Ethmobile siren, and Richard, just today, I also have I had to buy a splitter to plug everything in because I want everything temporary. So I didn't want to hardwire anything. I want to be able to take stuff off and,
You're right.
live a normal life. I just got that in today. So today was the very first day I was able to put the siren, the light, and the sign on my car and light everything up and run everything all at the same time. And I was flotsing.
I was thinking something, you were saying you had the green and stuff. You ought to get like a pull-up Slimer and put as your passenger.
How dare you, Richard? No. We are already in sync because that is on the wish list. Any cosplayer, it doesn't matter what, will tell you the exact same thing. The little stuff adds up real goddamn quick. It's like the siren wasn't expensive, the light wasn't expensive, the scrolling light wasn't expensive, the rack, it was a little bit, but that stuff added up really goddamn quick. So, but no, you are absolutely right. The other thing I really want to do, Richard, you've been in my car because it is an cop car. The dome light switches between normal light and the red light. I'm going to try to see if I can't replace that bulb with a green one.
Oh, that'd work. That way you can like spotlight on people or something. Yeah.
Yep. And the other thing that we are really trying to do now, nobody has gotten back with me yet, Richard. We are really trying to get into the Lima Irish Parade this year. Now, we're not going to do Ghostbusters because we want to do the Heroes for Hope because we want to, I don't want to say advertise, but we want to put ourselves out there. But, that's the other reason why I like the programmable light because we're also looking to get magnetic signs that say here with our logo on them for the car. We've already, Richard, I emailed, messaged, left a voicemail with the people. Haven't heard anything back yet, but me and Kendra today, she sent me a link to, it was like for like $5. It was like a 50-pack of Ghostbuster stickers. She's like, I ordered mine, and I'm like, $5. I was like, I ordered like 4 packs of them. I was like, $20. So fingers crossed, one way or another, those are going to get handed out. So yeah, as of right now, I haven't heard anything back, but we're really hopeful for it. If it gets to the point where I got to just fucking show up to the damn parade, we're going to be in that parade. I have bullshitted. I have BS'd my way into bigger things than a damn parade. It's like, well, we don't have you on the list. Dude, you think we just showed up in costume? Come on, who does that? So yeah, I was kind of proud of myself, Richard. I really made of this week off of work. But something else, Richard, because I'm the king of segues. Something else I got to do during my time off this weekend was I got to watch Marvels again. It just released this last week on Disney Plus.
Right.
And what's funny with me and Richard were talking before the show is me, Richard, and our friend Jared got to see it at the theater when it came out, but that was kind of just before life kind of hit the snooze button on us doing podcasts. So we never got a chance to do a review. So this feels kind of like redemption time, Richard.
And it's okay for spoilers. I mean, everybody's probably
dude. No, when it drops on Disney Plus, when it's been that no. We're spoiling.
I just have to clarify for anybody who hasn't seen it.
Yes.
Click on Disney Plus and watch it.
And the funny thing is, Richard, I know we're not going to get into it, but I know that movie got a lot of slack from quote unquote critics. And I will say the same thing I said when we left that movie theater. They can all suck an egg because I absolutely love that movie.
Well, it had his back against the wall to start with, or arm tied behind his back because they couldn't do publicity. This writer's strike was going on. You know, I mean, it was just finishing up, and they were like tied behind and stuff like that. So right there, they couldn't do the marketing the way they should have done the marketing, and other stuff like that just really hurt it. And then of course, the fanboys don't like Brie Larson, but me,
Oh, I do. No, I didn't mean it to sound like that. Well, I mean, I do, but no, you said it before, like when Captain Marvel came out. Captain Marvel is one of those comic books where I did read the comic book, and I thought she was great. I think she's a great Captain Marvel. And man, I really I enjoyed it more the second time. I really did, Richard. I enjoyed it more the second time than I did the first time because I think the first time, like with any movie, you're like, ooh, 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 oh look at it. No,
Look at that Easter egg. Oh.
yeah. Now it did remind me though, Richard. After watching it, I Secret Invasion is not canon for me anymore. Screw that because man, Secret Invasion screwed up so much, and it just felt like Marvel's let's say fixed it, but especially when it came to Nick Fury.
Yeah, I'm not sure even how this is. Secret Invasion after this?
I want to say it is because when Secret Invasion came out, now Secret Invasion, I don't know the reasoning what it was, but Secret Invasion, correct me if I'm wrong, Richard, came out before Marvel.
Yeah, it did.
And it made no sense because like, oh, we've got all these people or we've got all these scrolls outcast on Earth, you know.
Yeah, it seemed like it was like a refresh, but when Captain Marvel came out, we had that scenario happening back then. Remember, they were
Refugees.
refugees in the cosmic sense from the Kree and stuff. But it's like it happened twice because in the movie itself, the Marvels, their secondary home gets blown up.
Yes,
and it didn't make sense to me, because if they were like out here wandering space, but they had this home.
Yep.
Because that was only certain members of the Kree could live. I mean, Skrulls could live there.
No, and then after they really screwed up releasing Secret Invasion after Marvel because if they'd have done it in order, it would have made sense. Yes, Carol went off and she did what she said she was going to do. She did. Secret Invasion made it felt like she failed.
Right.
It made it feel like she failed because like I couldn't find a place for all these people, and we're like, bro, it's a big goddamn universe. There's got to be one class M planet, Star Trek. But when you watch Marvels and you realize, no, she did what she was set out to do. She found them a home world, but the Annihilator, the new Destroyer, blew up that world.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
And it was one of those things where we don't have time to go look for another planet. So she calls Valkyrie, and of course Valkyrie is, kicking in as mayor on New Asgard on Earth. So it made sense.
Yeah. But they all wound up in Russia somehow. So
it's like any kind of, not even science fiction, any kind of refugee scenario where, yes, they all landed here, but I guarantee you there were factions.
Oh, yeah.
And really, there was more to it.
How many did they really save?
See, that's what I don't understand. That is what I don't understand. That's another reason why Secret Invasion dropped the ball, because they were able to save a handful of refugees, but then all of a sudden we find out on Secret Invasion there were millions of them.
Right. So were they already coming in? I can understand none of that because a lot of that is really wibbly wobbly.
Which again, it's bad storytelling on Secret Invasion's part because I get it. Not all of the Skrulls were on the refugee world yet. They were still finding people. But here's our home base. This is where we'll live. Let me go find more of them.
Yeah.
It's going to take time because they were scattered throughout. It's a big damn universe.
Yeah, probably a couple of them was stranded on a planet looking like cows or something.
Okay. Again,
that's comic book history. Go read the early Fantastic Four.
Just Google Skrull cow and it will. No, that is literally because I think I did that once before. That is literally all you need. So again, Secret Invasion, and the other thing that bothered me was the way. Again, I'm ragging on Secret Invasion. I wasn't the biggest fan of Secret Invasion. I wasn't a big fan of how it was written.
Okay.
I did not like how they handled Nick Fury.
Yeah, they were kind of like trying to phase him out or something, you know.
It felt like it. It really did. It felt like it. But no, again, we're going back to Marvels. That Nick Fury is the Nick that was Nick Fury. That was Nick Fury. I just that was Samuel L. Jackson channel. That was Nick Fury channeling his inner Samuel L. Jackson. Because one of my favorite little parts, I was able to rewind because I almost spit out my soda when we watched it at the theater. Richard, was when Nick Fury and Kamala Khan's family are in the escape shuttle going back to Earth, and Kamala's brothers praying, and Nick Fury goes, "Are you praying? Well, don't stop. We need all the help we can get." Oh, that was a good. You know me, Richard. I love a well-crafted joke, and damn it, that was solid. Well, don't stop. We need all the help we can get. No, I had to rewind that one. That, to me, that was Nick Fury. That was.
Yeah, I just thought the whole movie had just the right balance of action, adventure, and a little bit of comedy thrown in.
Yeah,
And it was a little. A lot of people thought it was a little too much family, you know, but I really enjoyed it that way.
so did I. And the thing, no, it was what it was. It was what it was supposed to be. It was about family because you had the interaction with Carol and Monica,
Right.
and then Kamala Khan. I will jump in front of a bullet for Kamala Khan. I love the actress and I love her character. Her character, Richard, is. I don't care what the fanboys say. Kamala Khan is all of us. She is the fanboy in the Marvel universe. Because I would have done the same. I can't say I would have acted any differently.
Yeah, my little favorite part about the fanfic stuff when they was on the planet with the singing, she goes, "How many are you going to get out of this?"
And without even looking at her, she just like, so many.
You know,
I did.
That's the fan fiction in her, you know.
And I really liked they showed respect to the character. I really liked at the very beginning when they were focusing on Kamala that they harkened back to her series when they showed the animation around her.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for that. And it was not overdone. It was then and there in that moment of the movie. And that was it. It wasn't, overdone. It was for her. And I absolutely adored it.
Yeah, it made sense. And then when Carol Danvers' character like popped in her closet.
Oh my God. Seriously, can you imagine leaping into the bedroom or whatever of a complete stranger, but your biggest fan? Oh. Another thing about it, Richard, where I think it was very well written was the interaction with Carol, Monica, and Kamala when they were on Carol's ship, learning how to use their powers back and forth.
Oh yeah, so they could yeah.
Smart.
Yeah.
That was a legitimately smart thing to do.
A little time consuming, but
I loved it. No, I loved it.
No. I meant in reality of the series.
Oh, no. Yeah. It wasn't. No. You're absolutely right. It wasn't something like, hey, we just picked it up. No. Jumper. Oh my. And it was a great. God, I hate sounding like this. It was great team building exercises. Is what it was. No, I love that entire scene. That was, oh, I did. I here. Here's my thing, Richard. Here's how much I like the movie. It's free on Disney Plus. When it comes out on 4K, I'm buying it.
Yeah, that's like next week it comes out, isn't it, on Blu-ray?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't care. We can go into Richard. We can do an entire episode. We've almost done it before about the whole digital versus hard
Oh
copy
yeah,
movie.
yeah.
And if I like a movie, I'm going to buy that one. It is going to be on my shelf. Mostly because I can't wait to see the special features for that one. Dude, I can almost imagine them having two gag reels. One that's a general gag reel and bloopers, and one that's just Kamala. Because she had so much fun. Well, we know this. I watched the interviews and everything.
Oh yeah.
That girl was living the dream, dude.
And it was so funny, like during the limited press stuff, they went out and saw the movie together and stuff. There was photos floating around about with that. That was pretty cool.
Oh. But the other thing I adored was Kamala Khan's family. They were not background characters. They were supporting characters. Every scene with them in it, I absolutely loved. I love the Khan family.
Yeah, especially that whole battle sequence in their living room.
Oh, dude. As a person of a certain age who is a homeowner, I don't care. Even if you're a homeowner or you just rent, dude, that scene. You show the Avengers tearing up New York. Oh, that sucks. But you watch somebody tearing up your house. It's like, whoa, the roof. Not
the hole in the yeah.
Not the roof.
That was so crazy. Them looking up like that.
It was winning. No, and that was so subtle too. Is because you heard the airplane, Richard.
Oh yeah.
You heard the airplane, and you see Kamala just look up. It's just like. I have with the movie, Richard, and this is it's so cosmetic, was when you have a movie where you get these characters introduced and they have their costumes and then they get new costumes. The new costumes are supposed to be cooler than the old costumes. When Kamala and Carol came out in their new costumes, I was just like, no, it's backwards. No, get the especially Kamala's, hers looked like that was a great costume, and then they throw her just primary basic red, white, it was just good Lord. I feel so bad for my friend Kendra because she cosplays Captain Marvel. That woman's had more different costumes than any of the MCU characters. Ant-Man a close second, and I know that one for a fact. I take it back. Captain America, he had different, but dude.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I think the Marvel movies have trouble with that because they don't know to be original or stay true to the comic books.
Yeah, yeah.
At least that's how I always looked at it throughout the whole time frame, because they want to make it practical, you want to say, but yet they want to keep it grounded in the comic book a little bit.
They are inspired by the comic book. I mean, especially of all of them, Kamala's the one whose power set was changed the most. Her powers aren't even vaguely
right. Yeah, it's almost like a whole nother character.
But the thing about it is, though, I agree with you, but it still worked, though.
Yeah, it does. I didn't say it didn't work. It's just people sometimes don't understand because they don't really read the comics of some moviegoers and stuff, so they don't really understand what we're talking about, or vice versa, so.
Yeah, and it wasn't like No, it worked, and it worked especially well. I truly believe they planned it. It worked especially well with Monica and Carol. It was perfect.
Yeah.
That was perfect, and I was again Easter egg that really tickles the fanboys. The one that really got me was they'd always refer to in Ms. Marvel as her gauntlet as a bangle.
Bangle, yeah.
That was great. But it wasn't until the second one was introduced when Carol said these two words that just made me explode and made everything make more sense, Richard, was when she said, those look like quantum bands.
Oh, yeah.
Now, here's the thing. I know everybody, I was at the, oh, quantum, everything's quantumania, the quantum. No. We're going, I don't want to say old school Marvel, but I was still Quasar.
Yeah.
And Quasar got the quantum band from the old Captain Marvel. Because remember, Richard?
Well, technically, Quasar was even way before that, because that was actually Marvel Boy.
Marvel Boy! Thank you. No. You're right. No. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Because remember, to activate him, he had to clang them together.
Well, that was Captain Marvel.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you're Marvel Boy was a character from the 50s. And then they reintroduced him in Fantastic Four, and that's where the Cosmic Bands, or the not the bands, that was Captain Marvel. Cosmic Bands were Captain Marvel. Him and Rick had those, and they could change places in the universe. That's kind of what they took that idea where all three of them would interchange. That came from the comic book setting there, and then Marvel Boy became part of Project Pegasus. Yeah.
See, yeah.
So that was where that came from, and then, but see, the original one actually like blew up in the issue of in Fantastic Four when they brought the original one back. That was part of the original Avengers from the 50s. Yeah, I just like explain the whole Marvel, but they did have a timeline built up around that, But now in the movies, it kind of makes more sense the way they're doing it because
Quasar was one of my favorite comics back in like the 90s. Wendell Vaughn, man. I hated this. Now Quasar did. I'm not going into history, but he got kind of slapped with he's just Marvel's version of Green Lantern.
Oh yeah, I did remember that time.
Because Quasar's powers were hard, light, much like Green Lantern.
Right.
Based. He could make constructs. He could use energy blast. His were yellow, which was, I remember having, a conversation in the comic book store where it's just like, they just did that, like a smack in the face to DC, like, Green Lantern is vulnerable against yellow. And this is way before the yellow spectrum, so. But no, when they say quantum bands and they showed her clanging them, I'm just like, that was for me. That one was strictly for me and me and you, because you knew what was going on, but nobody else in that theater gave two F's about the word quantum bands and singing it. I was like, thank you, Marvel. Thank you. So no, it made complete sense. And I'm really excited because now she has both of them.
No, they split them up. Carol Danvers has one, and she has one.
Oh, that's right, because it was okay. Yeah.
Because it was too powerful for one person to have them.
Right, but no, she did use them. Both.
Yeah, she used them into the movie to do that part to fix the rip in the universe, and then that weird ending.
No, I wouldn't say weird. It was one of those ones where I blame them not having much marketing, but that one took most of us by surprise.
Yeah, because it was almost like now are we really going to get all this, or is this just something happening, or what's going on? Because like when Marvel was building the first, pre in game, the ending meant something that was coming ahead. And then after in game, they're not as powerful endings. They're kind of just
throwaway.
Yeah,
kind of like Captain America. So you stay to the end of the movie. It was.
Yeah, and that's what I thought. I go, is this really going to set us up so we have an adventure when they go look for her in this universe, and then we have the X-Men? I mean, that's the fanboy dream, but I don't think that's what they have planned.
I don't either, because I was reading something, Richard, just a few days ago, of a lot of Marvel's lackluster, cliffhanger, didn't go anywhere post-credit scenes.
Right.
And you're watching like, yeah, they didn't do nothing with this. Yeah, they completely ignored that.
Well, the only one they actually followed up on was the Ant-Man, the third Ant-Man. That went into Loki season 2. So at least that did foretell something. But
even that one kind of bit him in the ass. We're gonna make this one mean something. 6 months later, shit. But no, I did. I enjoyed it so much. The interact, the cast was great. The only thing, and it harkens back, Richard, is I understand they were all devastated that Monica was gone, because it was a very nice moment when they showed the 2 aliens that she was working with close on. Up in Scepter or Saber, being very forlorn, and they're packing up her stuff. Dude, she's not dead.
Right.
We know she's not dead.
Yeah.
So why were they acting? I mean, I get it. For as far as they're concerned, like, we don't have multiversal. But she's not dead.
Right. As far as they know, that's what it is. She's trapped in this world, and they almost kind of like gave up on the character already. That's the whole thing. The whole ending wasn't like a new beginning. It was almost like they just gave up.
Like they wrote her off.
Yeah. But I don't know. Are we actually going to get X-Men? I mean, because, Deadpool 3 comes out this year. At least we'll be able to see what they're going to do. And that might just be a whole quantum mess.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry if they're going to do all this time or multiverse traveling or whatever. I don't know. It just feels like, is people going to understand what's really going on?
Well, I think the other problem too is that they were already headed for, like you said, a mess. But then on top of that already mess, everything that was going on with Jonathan Majors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
There is a good leak came out this week. What's his name from Tenet might be taking the part.
Idris Elba?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
There was a leak that they actually had approached him, and he was in the process of maybe doing it.
No, he's phenomenal. Oh my God!
That would actually make a lot of sense, and might propel this into maybe cleaning this whole multiverse mess up.
And I know we've talked about this ad nauseum, but fingers crossed. Just keep going. Just nothing happened. Pretend. Just don't give us this like, oh, there was a glitch when Loki blew up the thing and now he looks different. No, just
don't even. It's like the Bewitched. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, just son, just go with it. And it's not the first time. Even in other properties, they've done this before. Just
well, that's what they're doing in Thunderbolts. Harrison Ford is coming in as the Ross character.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, we totally understand. I mean, look at what happened to Rhodey in Iron Man.
That is it exactly right there, Rick. Look, there is absolutely no reason. It's like it's like in law school, Richard. Here's the precedent. It can be done.
Yeah.
It was proven. And using the scientific method, Richard, just because something worked one time doesn't mean it's a thing. But we got him in multiple movies, and guess what? It worked. So scientifically proven, you can replace an actor without bringing it up, and it works.
James Bond. How many freaking James Bonds is there? I mean, I love James Bond's movies, but
yeah.
it just, you just got to keep moving. You got to go forward. Just don't rely on the past.
Yeah. And don't throw the character away. I mean, before everything happened, was very invested in that idea. I was all for that storyline.
I know, like we talked about this when our review of the Quantumania. We talked about how there was so many Kangs and how this war could be approaching and stuff, and then whatever happened Loki too, season 2.
Yeah,
that's still a little confusing. Even for me, I'm like, now did we fix things or did we make things worse?
Yeah. And speaking of Quantumania, the whole, it's just like, well, I love that ending. After I watched Marvels, I just went right back into Quantumania to watch it again. Scott, that's another reason I love Scott Lang so much as a character, because at the very end when he's walking down the street and it dawns on him, well, he said he was going to stop them from coming, and at the end was coming. Oh God, did I just doom the world? Nah, it'll be all right. Which was not out of character for him. That is how he would have reacted. So yeah, I mean, it's there, and I think for them, there's been a lot of talk too of them completely dismissing the Kang thing, and like Doctor Doom has been a
yeah, well, what's his name's going to be Reed Richards now. So what's going to happen? We're going to get a good Fantastic Four,
which is great, but don't do a disservice to the fans and completely sideshow all this stuff that you've been leading up to so far.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we know there was problems. That's done. Let's just keep going forward.
Yeah. It's not like they were already a year and a half into filming with him.
Right. Yeah. That's one kind of good thing,
Yeah. I mean, it's not Back to the Future, you can't just replace. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, you can. You can replace an actor 3/4 of the way through the movie. Boy, that was a deep cut for people that don't know what the hell we're talking about. Back to the Future, Eric Stoltz. Google it. And no, here's the other thing, Richard. Not just Monica being in the X-Men universe. Kamala recruiting Kate Bishop.
Oh yeah.
Nope. You don't you dare drop that. Don't you dare let that slide. I want the Young Avenger, because I love too when she drops it. She goes, "Did you know Ant-Man has a daughter?" Come on, man. I really want, mostly because I really want to see them two, because I really think that Kate and Kamala are going to have fantastic chemistry.
Yeah.
And Casey, when they bring, I think the three of them, I'm assuming if they do the Young Avengers route, there's going to be more. I would love to see Isaiah's grandson from Captain America.
Oh yeah.
I don't get me wrong. I don't want it to just be them three, but I'm already saying we've got the foundation already, and I can see the three of them having fantastic chemistry, characters and actors.
Right. Yeah, I think that can go that way, and and I know it's animated, but you also have like Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur as part of the universe now, and the season 2 just dropped, and I'm loving season 2 just almost as much as the first season.
So good.
I know it's supposed to be like for kids, but there's some fun jokes and stuff in there.
Yeah. That's one of those shows, Richard, that falls under the Louis category where this is a show for children. And then all I hear about are adults who are watching this show and coming away with their lives changed.
It's just fun. I think it's just so fun to watch. You go in it, and I know it's not earth shattering or whatever, but it's just fun to watch her solve problems. I mean, the whole thing with the Beyonder at the beginning was just
yeah.
So there's a lot of young characters, and I think Marvel needs to go back to being younger again, and not just reinvent itself. I know, you could pull Robert Downey Jr. from another multiverse and be younger or whatever. I don't want that.
I don't either.
I don't want the Avengers, or I know Fantastic Four is going to be the next step, and we're going to have this like Secret Wars type thing. I mean, is it going to be a true changing everything and get rid of the multiverse like Crisis,
I have a side note about Crisis, which I will get to when we're done. Don't let me forget. Okay. Here's how the tone has shifted, Richard. Years ago, when we were still at like the height, like pre-Infinity War, we were all like, "Oh my God, what are they going to do?"
Right.
You know what I mean? The tone has shifted, and not in a great way.
No, I don't even think they knew what they were doing. I mean, and then, of course, COVID hit the world, too. So they were really hindered.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of production. I mean, WandaVision was the first out the gate, because they were the furthest along in production and stuff. And nothing, I think, came out in the right orders. We had talked about that on several episodes.
Yeah.
So I think that all hurt Marvel in the long run. And I think now they're just trying to go back and try to, what do you want to say, fix themselves or something?
Well, we just mentioned earlier, Richard, they're still dealing with that problem. Look at Marvel's in Secret Invasion.
Right.
That really bit them in the ass,
Yeah, it almost like it didn't make sense, but, and then, them kind of writing, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. series out of canon, but yet it's still part of canon, another multiverse. And then even next Wednesday is going to get really wobbly too. Madam Web, part of Sony's Marvel universe.
You see, this is the only time where DC has had kind of like, I don't want to say an advantage, but did something better was, hey, here's the Batman. It's its own thing.
Yeah.
Enjoy. Marvel hasn't quite grasped that yet. You don't have to make everything intertwined. Look, Venom.
Yeah. Well, that was Sony, so.
but you see what I'm saying, though. And they could have left it as it was, but at the end of No Way Home,
right.
They brought him.
And then a little piece of Venom drops off. So there's a piece of Venom in the MCU, whichever universe that was.
Yeah. So, that's the one thing that Marvel has a hard time coping with, is just let it be its own thing.
Yeah, I've always said, just tell good stories. Remember, that's always been my motto, just tell good stories.
And I am hearing so many weird, wackadoo rumors and theories about what's going to actually happen in Madam Web, that my biggest beef with it is, though, and it's not against the actress herself, but man, Madam Web. I'm sorry, but when I think of Madam Web, I think of B. Arthur. I think of Betty White. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's one of the few times my mind harkens back to Spider-Man the animated series.
Oh.
That's Madam Web. The old white-haired chick in the chair,
Yeah. Well, that's where she progresses towards, I guess. I think it's the same one, but just early. And then, of course, we have Deadpool 3. So that's supposed to solve everything. So,
dude, hurry, because even that one, it's peaking and waning, where it's just like so excited, and it's just like you're looking at your watch like, any day now. Don't make me lose interest.
Yeah, and then now with the street level Marvel universe almost picking up now, and with the total revamp of Daredevil.
Yes, and did you hear? Again, I'll probably be bitten in the ass 6 months from now, but one of the other main theories and rumors for like the upcoming Spider-Man movies is he is going to be a part of that ground level,
right? And
all
and Kingpin,
Yes. He is going to be He is going to be your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and not your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man on some faraway distant planet.
I just hope that really does tie into all that, because, and bring back some more of that Netflix universe, and relaunch Iron Fist or whatever,
Yeah.
But, it's all what it is. Except one good thing that we got to look forward that's outside of Marvel is Bad Batch is coming back in a couple of weeks.
Dude, I'm so excited for Bad Batch.
I do have to bring that up because they just released that little clip today. That looked really sweet.
That looked so good.
And the other Star Wars announcement, I know this is off the wall, but the 25th anniversary rescreening of Phantom Menace. I know a lot of people really knocks that, but if you was a Lima person, I know you didn't have a chance to do it. But remember the opening night you weren't there the opening night, right?
I was there. I was in that line.
Because that was like the future site of the present day UVN. We were all there, but we didn't know each other. It was really crazy.
Yep.
Because I literally was in line with David and Peanut. And I didn't even know them. They were so crazy.
And if I remember correctly, I was in line with Eric Pepple.
Yeah, you was a little bit ahead of us, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. You was a little bit closer to the door, and then all the radio stations showed up.
Richard, that was the only time I can ever remember seeing a line to a movie that long. Now, for those people that don't know, that weren't from Lima, Ohio, the old Regal Cinemas used to be back by the railroad tracks on Cable Road. That line was halfway to Harry's Hideaway, Richard. I remember that.
It was almost there because Pete, D-Boy, and me was right at the end of the sidewalk. That's where we were.
Yep.
Because like I said, I didn't even know these guys. We're standing and we're talking, and they became. This is how UVN formed. This is like a preview of UVN. And we were all there, And like I said, radio station after radio station just kept coming in with their trucks and stuff, and none of this was planned. It was just. Nope. It was just like Woodstock of Star Wars and Lima.
It really was. I will say that, granted, say what you will about the movie, but man, that experience was, I won't forget that one. No, I remember that line.
Until we got in and we saw Jar Jar Binks, but that's okay.
and speaking of Phantom Menace is also responsible for me. Kind of probably saved me money. I kind of stopped buying Star Wars memorabilia after that, because remember they in hindsight they were really smart about it, because I think they knew what they had on their hands. But remember, it was like a week before the movie was put out when they were dumping action figures
At Toys R Us. Remember they had
at
a
Toys
midnight
R Us.
release?
Because I will never forget, Richard. I have forgotten my own name before, but I will never forget this name because it's just like, I got a Rick Olick figure. He looks amazing. It says here he flies the Starship. 5 minutes. Hey, everybody onto my silver Starship. Whee! That was it. Oh.
At least none of us got Jar Jar Binks tattoos before the movie.
You use the Force, Duke, because, and I'm like, if he doesn't do it, I'm going to go there. Go join the dark side. The dark side is bad. Fanboys.
Yeah.
Which, that is an underrated masterpiece. Anyone who is even a casual fan of Star Wars needs to watch that movie.
Yeah, I got to see a release of that with actually the some of the directors and stuff that was that down in Columbus.
Mhm.
Because Josh was there from used to work at Alter Ego. A bunch of those guys went down. We all saw that. It's just a coincidence we all showed up at the same time. But no, but back to the Star Wars thing. I mean, I almost wouldn't mind seeing this again in the movie theater.
I'm going to be honest with you, Richard. I'll go. I would. Just because I have the weirdest feeling, Richard, because 95% of the people who are going to go are people like us. It's going to be like the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Dude.
I hope it's the version with the new grass. That's all I care about.
The new grass.
Honest, I saw the 3D version of it, and it had that was the first time they had the new grass in the 3D version. And the 3D version looked really cool.
Yeah.
I seriously, Naboo with the grass in the re-release when they cleaned it up, it looks so much better than that first night.
It was almost like going from VHS straight to Blu-ray. Is the quality that
And the thing was, that was technically the first digital movie.
You're right.
It wasn't the first all movies shot on digital because they literally shot it on film.
Yeah.
And then they digitized the film and then produced the movie all digitally after they scanned the negatives. Because Rodriguez's movie, Once Upon a Time in Mexico, was the very first movie ever shot on digital. But this movie was the first time they actually incorporated full digital effects. I mean, not to do the effects then transfer them back to film and release it as film. This was the first one that was actually done full digitally, because like not like Terminator or The Abyss and all that stuff that came up to this movie. So technically it changed the standards of movies,
Mm-hmm.
Or no, it was shot on digital and then transferred to film. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Right? Because Eros films or cameras were used. Yeah, that's right. I probably said that backwards. I'm a little backwards today. This day's been crazy. At work today at the newspaper, I was doing all my postings, and the network server kept going down where we used to host our websites. So I lost a whole hour of production time today. But that's one of them things. But I think we've covered most of the stuff we wanted to.
There is one thing I want to add real quick, Richard, because
Okay.
it goes back to the conversation we had about if I really enjoy something, I'm gonna buy it. Crisis on Infinite Earths, the new animated one,
Right.
Not buying that hunk of crap, dude. That sucked. Again, the opinions expressed by Michael are not solely Michael's and not UVN's, but no, my first thing was like when I heard about it, was like it's coming to digital. I'm like, I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna buy it. It's a DC animated. I'm gonna buy it. And then not too long, it was during this last week when I was off, I'm like, screw it. I can rent it. Let me rent it, and then I'll turn around and buy it. Oh, I am so glad I rented that one first. You want to talk about an incoherent mess?
There was a making of reel on the disc. that kind of explains how this all came about.
Oh, Crisis?
Yeah, they were making all those movies, the newer versions, because they kind of got away. Remember when it kind of changed directions with the movies,
Yeah.
with like Supergirl and the Legion,
Yeah.
and the War Planet ones and the Superman and stuff like that. Okay, all these were supposed to tie together. You were supposed to see all of those going into this crisis. And like the Batman, what was it? Whatever the Batman one that just came out. These were all designed to get you up to Crisis, and they were making a new Crisis, is what they were doing.
That new Crisis I watched, that part one, as far as it didn't have nothing to do with all those, Richard. I didn't see anything.
Well, technically it did, because they showed where they brought him in on the making of, because like Harbinger is actually Supergirl and all that.
Yes.
And then they literally showed how the future disappears. I mean, basically what they did, they just rewrote Crisis the way they wanted to do it.
And it failed. Again, my opinion. If you loved it, we would love to hear. Argue with me, people listening and or watching. If you liked it, tell me why you liked it. I will respect your opinion. My opinion, it was a big steamy hunk of just.
Now, is there 3 episodes or just the 2 movies?
I think it's just 2.
Okay, because I got confused in the documentary. They were talking about a 3rd one, but I didn't think it was supposed to be a 3rd one. So maybe they changed their course after they started production on it or something.
I don't know, but hearing that there's a documentary about that is it kind of reminds me of the idea that there's a documentary behind Spider-Man 3. When you go back and you listen to that commentary, they were so proud of that movie. I don't think any of them had watched it yet. No, I did. I was so disappointed. Now, I did watch Warworld.
Okay.
That was phenomenal. I loved that. That was great.
Right.
But
yeah, that was like a little confusing too. But I think I think we're actually both. We have a fan just asked us if we are comic book collectors or fans, and we're both technically, right, Mike?
Yeah, you see those boxes right there? That is about 20 boxes of comic books. So yeah, no. We're both.
And
Dude,
and both of us, both I don't know, this viewer is watching us on Twitch.
We're on Twitch?
Yeah.
Well, hold on, let me get my game controller out. I didn't know we were on Twitch.
But no, yeah, both of us have been collecting for a long time. I know I've been collecting for a long time, and I can vouch for Mike. I know he's been like reading and collecting for a long time too.
Yeah. Well, your casual fanboy wouldn't have been able to give the explanation about Marvel Boy.
But I don't think he was watching then, so.
Oh, okay. No, yeah, I think the other reason why, Richard, I'm not saying I held this up to a certain. I did. No. I'm going to say I held that up to a certain standard because I know what DC's animated is capable of. Their animated has almost consistently been better than the DC EU. That was the one thing you could rely on DC for, was an outstanding animated movie. Between that and knowing, what we know about the actual Crisis, and even the Crisis that they did on the Arrowverse, masterpiece. That was incoherent. I just did not. I did not enjoy it.
No. Yeah, like I said, it was what it is. I think they were trying to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah. So nope, that was my final hot take. What the kids still say? My lit. That was my lit commentary, fam.
The CCW's version was a little better.
Dude, see, that's what I meant by the Arrowverse. That was, oh no, I'll watch that in a heartbeat.
But yeah, we like I said, we've been collecting for a long time. He was asking a question what we actually collect. I have I go for some Silver Age stuff, and
Mhm.
Mike goes for Silver Age. I've got some Golden Age stuff too. So we've been collecting, like I said, for quite a long time.
Yeah, and my taste has been pretty consistent, but still vary. I'm DC, Marvel, but then still a lot of, especially the last 6-7 years, a lot more of the independent stuff. Well, especially for us, Richard, because we have so many friends that do great independent books.
Right. Yeah, we really support the local highest scene. So
Yeah. Oh, real quick, Rick, I know we're running over time, but I got to mention this really quick. The Dynamite comic stuff, the stuff they're doing with G.I. Joe and the reboot. I'm going to call it a reboot. The reboot of Transformers and G.I. Joe and crossing those two universes.
right.
Dude, so good. Now, here was the thing. I got Transformers, and my first thought was, okay, another reboot. No, it is, dude. This was Transformer. This was not a Hasbro sponsored Transformers. Spoiler if you haven't read it yet, but in one of the I think it might have even been the first or maybe second issue, Starscream is one of the first Decepticons woke up. Dude, he grabbed a squishy little human and he crushed him. And then I love what they're doing with G.I. Joe because they're making it kind of obvious that they're going to do crossovers. They're going to be within the same universe. I picked up, Richard, Cobra Commander issue 1. That was a good book. I really liked the way, because it harkened back to G.I. Joe the movie with, spoilers, with Globulus, the idea of the underground snake world. It still builds off of that, but very well done.
Yeah, I modern day stuff, a little bit of everything. I know he was saying that he's did a little bit of silver and bronze and stuff like that. So it's good. I mean, we've been around for a while, and like I said, we try to cover what we can, try to cover the local scene. So,
Yeah.
it was good. And thanks for watching. I know we're past our time limit, so
This is what happens, Richard, when I take my glasses off. Holy smoke, dude!
I know we've done a good show.
You guys got to understand, like before we started airing, we're just like, okay, well, we're going to talk about Marvels. Oh man, can we? No, yeah. So, great place to wrap this up, Richard. Richard, for our fan out there who responded to you, where can anyone watching or listening find all of our stuff?
You can find our whole video archive at uvn.plus. That's uvn.plus. We have the whole category of all our stuff from the last, we've been almost 25 years.
Yeah.
We started in 2002. So everything we've ever filmed, there's a link to the video. Most stuff's all on YouTube now and stuff. So you can find it all there. And you can also there find all our links to all our socials and interact with us on those places.
Richard, it was great talking to you. On behalf of Richard and myself, Michael, thank you for watching and or listening. We hope to see everybody at a comic book store or a convention real soon. Richard, if you would kindly please press the button.